Thank you very much, Gladys, for having me here, first of all. And I think the big thing, for me, I think we need a paradigm shift, because everything really starts from the mind. And as a business breakthrough coach, one thing I've discovered when I work with entrepreneurs is we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs. And our self-limiting beliefs will drive our behaviors. So it's not really our circumstances and our conditions that determine our success. So a lot of times we blame the government, we blame our conditions, but really it is our mind and some conditions that are holding in of how we have been brought up, how we have started the business. Sometimes we don't even have a vision. Most entrepreneurs are just going for the next shiny thing, you know, so, and not to put them down, but everybody's really just trying to struggle to make a buck to pay bills to live. So there's no job, so the next thing you know is, what can I sell? But entrepreneurship is not just finding something to sell. It's a whole different ballgame. So it's really coming up with what are the needs, what is the need that I need to meet as an organization, but not just today. So a lot of small businesses are coming up because of needs, but they're not planning how they're going to live beyond, you know, the demand right now. So we need to think, if you're getting into business, you need to think that way, because it's not a job. It's a lifetime. It's a full-time thing. So I find our limiting beliefs are more the problem. So we really need to have a paradigm shift of continuously thinking that it's struggling, it's hard, it's a challenge. Why is it struggling? Why are we struggling? Why is it hard? Why is it a challenge? Because we've been at this for, you know, for quite a bit of time.
What else is ailing business owners?
From time immemorial, how we think of what we're doing matters. And are entrepreneurs struggling in Kenya? Absolutely. The thing is, he rightly said that we start businesses because we don't have an alternative. But the reality is our foundations are not always correct, and you can't build on a faulty foundation. So it's okay to wake up and work very hard, but if you're on Mombasa Road and you're trying to go to Kisumu, even if you drive very fast, you will never get to Kisumu. All right, you'll have to stop and turn around and find the way to Naivasha and then to Kisumu. So one of the things, I recently read a research that was done on why small businesses, the mistakes that make small businesses close. And one of them was, number one, building something nobody wants, which is very common when you're desperate and you're thinking, what can I sell to make money? So I'll go into the next shiny thing, be it quails, be it whatever. All right. So I'm in no way trying to put entrepreneurs down. They are really trying, but trying with the wrong tactics and the wrong strategies will continue to struggle. So that's all I'm saying, is that we need to stop, step back, and find out where do I need to make a change? All right, so one of the mistakes is building something nobody wants. Another one is not having enough money for the business. So banks are in business to make money. They have to take the interest. And I kid you not, Gladys, there are many other options for finance. As I sit here, I work with an organization called Countable that recently gave somebody $300,000, no collateral. All right, and I've been trying to talk to women about this, because it's therefore women, you know, the procurement, 30% procurement to help women and youth to get it, but they're caught up with the bank at the 14% interest. Countable partners with a small business owner, like this lady supplies medical supply. Healthcare, she supplies beds and stuff. So the key thing about it is they partner with you. Who is the person who's going to supply? It's a process, but we have the mindset that money only comes from the bank. There are accelerator programs that you go through to help you get your foundations right, and then they put you in a place where you can get money from investment. Yes, banks is one way of getting money, but there are other non-traditional ways where we can get money. Like Countable doesn't charge a fixed capped 14% interest. The interest is based on the profit that you make. So sometimes as entrepreneurs we are struggling because we have not really looked at the profit we are making. We're just going, okay, I need to sell this, but thinking through, how much is that really going to make me? So I like Countable because before they help an entrepreneur, they ensure that the supplier is a supplier that's legit, that's going to pay and pay on time, because that's how they also make their money. They ensure that the entrepreneur is going to make a profit. A lot of times the entrepreneurs I work with are working very hard, but they're looking at the next person who owes them and saying this money is not coming on time. But the truth of it is we don't have a business plan. We have not planned our business to know how much money our business needs. And because we are desperate, we are always going after the next person who owes us money. So are entrepreneurs working hard? Absolutely. Are they passionate? Absolutely. But sometimes we need to step back and find out where exactly is this pinch coming from. What do I need to do? And there's a lot of information. There's a lot in this country. It's just, okay, which one do I really need to pick to help me?
And what works for you?
And what will work for me at the season of my business? Because there's a lot of information. And information is no longer power. Because the information we download from Google, from YouTube, from everywhere, it's not regulated. And so you're going to try, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this. But if you stop and step back and plan your business and know that I'm not going to go for every shiny program that comes out, and I tell you we have more than enough programs. There are many shiny things. So the entrepreneur's struggle is, which one do I pick?
Okay, now even as we look at that, I guess the question here would be, for example, she is representing many that have had, taken tenders, supplied, and money never came. So in the case of an SME, what do I do to protect myself in case that money never comes through? How do I now move on?
What we encourage small business owners to do is to diversify their products. So if you supply the bank, then if you supply the government, what do you supply? Because it is seasonal. You cannot rely on tenders. That is the one thing I tell all people that do tenders that I work with. So we sit with you to find out what are your other skills and talents, what other products can you create. We call it having a bread and butter strategy. So as you wait for the big payment from government or Kenya Power or whoever, what's your bread and butter strategy? Because the government will be late. The corporates will be late. They'll say 30 days, I've waited 90 days. All right. So if I don't have a bread and butter strategy, something that can give me money on a weekly or a daily basis, mind shift again. We have this mind shift of 30-day payment. Who said we have to be paid after every 30 days? I have a client that we've structured for her. She has a business that she gets paid every day. And she was in tendering. So coming out of tendering, what is the business that you can do? But when she got one big tender, she got millions of shillings, but she had to wait and wait and wait. So again, mindset of waiting for one thing. Why must you wait for one thing? What other revenue streams can you create? How can you leverage technology? How can you go into other fields? Because as a human being, you have a lot of potential, and your passion can create other streams of revenue for you. So helping you find a bread and butter strategy, so you are not just fixated on waiting for the government to pay you. You sleep hungry. It's hard. I've been in entrepreneurship for 25 years across industries and geographies, and when I speak from that place. And of course there are diverse situations and diverse experiences. We have to be careful not to generalize everyone. So I speak from where I sit. Having been in business over 25 years, when the Sharia, I didn't even know the way to Sharia house. And then our business mentoring coaches are also entrepreneurs. So they, Jane, just to let you know, they have sold pens. I like the way she says they don't sell pens. So just in case you're listening, at Passion Profit, we pride ourselves that we are for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And that's why we try to get you out of the mindset. And the mindset is a principle. It's not something Frida has created or entrepreneurs has created. From time immemorial, we have been told that as a man thinks, so is he. We have a shift that we have to wait 30 days for payment. So the corporate may have 30-day payment. So that should tell me as an entrepreneur, what do I need to make money every week, every day? It is not the corporate's problem. It is not the government's problem. It is my problem to find out what products are needed in the market. All right? And when we talk about access to markets, the first thing is when people are getting into the market, they are not defining what is their market dominating position, which is something we teach at Passion Profit. We help you to understand what is the secondary market you're getting into, what is the primary market, and what is the strategic position you're going to get into. Because let's say you are in training and you feel training is saturated. Training is the secondary market. You want to train in leadership, but what what is your sweet spot in leadership, and then we create a market dominating position for you, so you're not going to copy and spray what others are doing. The marketing strategies we're going to give you are very different. So it's not so much, and this is my opinion, it's not so much the problem that there's no market. It's really how we enter the market, how we position ourselves. There's a lot of copying and spraying, and everybody has a passion and everybody has a sweet spot that once you enter the big secondary market, it is just, what is the primary market I need to focus on? Like he said earlier, we try to do too many things. We lack a focus. And when you lack a focus, I always ask people in my programs, when people are sitting in a room and names are being pulled out of a hat, why should you be pulled out? Because you're selling hats, you're selling cars, you're selling this, you're selling the other. You can't be a master at everything. Robin Sharma tells us that. So when it comes to how you do your business, there are different philosophies. There's lots and lots of philosophies. So the first thing, if you don't have a vision, why did you start this business? I started this business in Kenya in 2010 because so many people were coming to me asking me for work. But the people that were asking me for work, Gladys, they had jobs. So I was wondering what is going on. But what they were looking for was fulfillment. So at Passion Profit, we're helping you create a life and work that you love and enjoy. So we don't make a mind shift again. You don't have to have a big office and have many people working in that office to be a success. You can leverage technology and have people working for you around the globe and working from your home, in the basement of your home. So again, mind shift. I used to pay a lot of rent at Riget, and try to have a lot of staff, but that's a corporate model. We are startups. So again, mind shift. We have to shift from corporate model, and there's nothing wrong copying the corporate because that is what has been modeled for us. But we are startups, and we need to have a different model if we are going to survive, because copying corporate, we don't have deep corporate pockets. We don't have corporate directors. We have a different model. We are reading from a different script. So there are many dynamics to this conversation.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
There's no one straight way, but there is a way for every entrepreneur who will step back and find out, what is my end in mind? What is my focus? What is my strategic position? Who am I serving? What do I want to be known for? Okay, I want to be known for helping people create a life and work that they love and enjoy, and as they do that, creating wealth for themselves and for others.
Frida, she mentioned that the professors told her a business, one that is successful, you've got to have cash that you touch it.
Absolutely.
And some people go into it hoping to have that cash, but that doesn't happen overnight. The question is, despite all these things that you have to do to build up this SME, what are the things that you need to keep in mind also to keep pushing through the green?
As simple as it sounds, you need to have a plan. And your plan is, what is your end in mind? Like Jane has said, her end in mind is generating work for others. And then you walk backwards, all right? So having a vision, for us a vision is, what is a preferable mental image of the future that you have? I have an image that there'll be more people working. There'll be more people able to to get around and do what they need to do by the work that I do. So what will that entail? A lot of times people beat their chest, and I applaud them for starting business without money. And how you say starting business with hope. Hope is great, but it's not a strategy. You need a predictable system of how you're going to produce your products, how your product will get into market, who is even in the market who needs it. I help people turn their passion into profit. And one pitfall is having a passion that people need but don't have money to pay for. Like a lot of people who like to sing. All right, you like to sing, you're going to cut one record after another, but who is really going to pay you for it? So the key thing is figuring out that this passion that you have, this drive that you have, how is it really going to generate money for you, apart from wishing? And now the way we have the market, you can go out and test your product. You can ask on social media what people think about it, and actually make some money before you go big. And think about, remember earlier I said that one of the problems why we fail is not having enough money. And not having enough money means not being able to pay people when that supplier has not paid you. And sometimes it could just mean having a job on the side to make sure that you have the money. I encourage people to transition out of jobs instead of just cut it, because when you have a job, you have a pay slip, the bank can give you money. When you don't have the job, the bank can't give you money. And if you don't sell your goods, you won't have money. Lack of money is lack of customers. Lack of customers is a product that nobody wants. All right, so we need to rethink how we are creating products and who needs the products that we are creating. Do they have money? So a lot of times, out of desperation, we do something that other people are doing and we've seen them excel at it. But we need to do some research and find out, is there still room for more? How can I position it so that I bring in a value addition? He talked about innovation. What is some value addition I can put so that I'm unique, I'm different, to position myself strategically so that more customers can still choose me? So there are a lot of dynamics. It's not a one-way, one-size-fits-all.
Okay.
So it really starts with, what is my end in mind? What is my philosophy? And who is out there who can support me, who has the philosophy that I have? Because even when you go for an investor, if you get an investor who does not align with your philosophy, there's going to be trouble down the line. All right. So, and what is philosophy? The way I think, the way I behave, the way I get my results. Bottom line, if you do not like your results, go back to your behavior. Go back to, what do I believe that made me behave like this? Then you will see where your results came from.
Frida, yes, even as we talk about how to set up the business and keep it afloat, there are things that you've got to look at within that keep you afloat or, sustainable. For example, your own employees. You've got to think about the people who will be working for you. And if you have a high turnover, it means you'll be dealing with things that you shouldn't be dealing with, because a turnover comes with an expense of maybe training, an expense of, salaries and what have you. When you're training or business coaching, do you delve into how to keep a healthy atmosphere within your business?
Absolutely. We have to look at the people culture in your organization. And Gladys, I may sound like a stuck record. It starts with your end in mind. What is the vision for the organization? Because the vision you have for the organization, the preferable mental image that you have for the future, is what you will bring into the organization. Starting with you as the leader, the work ethic you will model is what the people that are coming in are going to model. So that's number one. So what is your end? Your end in mind will determine the kind of people you will hire, the kind of processes that you will set up, the kind of partners you will have, the kind of suppliers that you'll use. So we do that through a business model canvas, and business model canvas is something you can download online. But again, like I say, there's a lot of information, but if you're not able to conceptualize it for your vision and for your season and for your condition, because everybody, right now, there's a lot going on. There are people who are surviving, there are people who are thriving, there are people who are in between. So when you download the business model canvas, what's your end in mind? What is your value proposition? What is the key thing that you're going to be selling? Who is your target audience? How much do you want to make? Many times when people come to me and they're talking about their business, I always ask, how much did you make last month? 1 out of 10 will tell me how much they made. And again, not to put down anyone, it's a fact of life that if you don't plan to make money, you will not have any. So if you don't know how much you made last month, how will you know what you should make this month? And if you don't know how much you made last month, it's a clear sign that you don't have a track record of how you are doing, which is already trouble. Because if you're not measuring what you're doing, you cannot improve it. So sometimes a small business owner can be very busy doing many things, but the key things that you need to be doing, which is tracking how much money are you making. And every time I'm told that money is not everything, but without money that business is going to close and bills are going to catch up with you and you're going to sleep hungry. So the one thing as an entrepreneur you must always know, and this is something I learned from one of my mentors, is how much money do you have? Cash is king. And Cash is king. Where does cash come from? Customers. So if you don't have customers, there will be no cash. And your customers are your internal customers who are your employees, because if you're not good to your employees, if you don't hire right, another problem why businesses are shutting down, the number 2 reason is hiring poorly. We don't pay attention to how we hire people. We hire based on the limited resources that we have. I have a client that has hired an accountant for $90,000, but is a month. And this guy doesn't even have a CPA, but because she's scared of numbers, she thinks that I need to hire somebody that I need to pay a lot of money. So we have restructured it, because you cannot source out accounting for $15,000, $20,000, and this person doesn't need to be sitting under your office anyway. So again, yes, we do help you with that, and we use the business model canvas.
I think it's prudent to just chime in on how important it is to reinvent self. Some people or some of SMEs have survived because they found the trick to having, finding the way to just survive through the changing times. Yeah. So what are those, secrets you can probably share with us before you leave?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You'll probably jump out of your seat. Your mindset.
Oh, wow. We've had that a couple of times.
It's that, because the key thing is, the way we are conditioned to think about failure in this country, you don't make it to, you get standard 8 results are just out, so there's going to be a lot of trouble for the children who didn't make the grade to go to the next level, and then when people come to me for coaching, and I start, what are you doing? They start with that. When I was in standard 8, my grade didn't allow me to do ABCD, or when I was in Form 4, my grade didn't allow me to, so it becomes a real defining moment for them. So they tend to fear failure and become risk averse because of that. When I failed, I wasn't given what I wanted. My marks did not allow me to become a doctor. I was given this other thing. So I cannot afford to fail. Entrepreneurship is failing every day, because it's finding out that this thing that I'm so passionate about, people don't need it, so I have to pack it up and start another one. Where Passion Profit is today, when we started, we had workshops and seminars. We had an 8-week program. Today, we are leveraging technology. We have a 5-step profit system that is used, that is a mentoring system that is online, so that we can reach people not just in Nairobi. Every Thursday morning, I have committed my life to mentoring entrepreneurs who are willing to come. I do it on Facebook, 8:30, that's why I need to leave, because I'm going to do it. And then I do it every Thursday at 8:30 to 9:30 for free. I give insights and strategies on how to build a thriving business. People ask me questions, people inbox me. And then on top of that, we have a business mentorship program. We're leveraging technology. It's a turnkey system for you to figure out what is your product. It's based a lot around marketing, because that is the key thing. People don't know how to generate leads, because sometimes you think if I post something on social media and I get 10 likes, I'm good to go. You're not. Likes and leads are very different. A lead is your phone will ring when you have a lead. When you have a lead, the lead needs to convert into money, into a transaction. Yeah. So our turnkey mentorship system is to help SMEs to figure out how to generate more leads, how to get conversions, and how to get more transactions, so that they can have money to do the things that they love and enjoy. So one of the things, if I was afraid of what will people think, I would not have changed the way I do Passion Profit. Every year there's a new change, and people say, Frida, you are always changing. I said, remember the first time we started Facebook? We didn't have Facebook Live. Where Facebook is today, and from the first time I logged into Facebook, it was very different. Another reason why small business owners fail is because we are ignoring social media. Yes, there's this side of social media that takes too much time, but you don't have, again, what is your end in mind? Why are you going on social media, and how is it going to help you? So I say the first thing is mindset. Don't fear failure. Don't fear risking. Don't fear changing, because you're wondering, what will people think if I change again? My end in mind is still the same, helping you turn your passion into profit, so that you can create a life and work that you love and enjoy, and provide meaningful work for yourself and for others. But the way I have done it, I always say, write your vision in ink, but your strategies in pencil. And if you're afraid to write your strategies in pencil and you're afraid to fail, you can't make it in this place. So every time when I'm interviewed, I'm asked, have you failed? I said, every time. I've been in this space 25 years. I've been in retail. I've been in tours. So you can call that failure, but it's only failure when you stop doing something. As long as you keep going, trying something new based on the end that you want, and generating an income for yourself and your loved ones, and helping others to generate incomes for themselves, you're still on the map, you're still moving on. You're not a failure. So the mindset of how we view failure is the one thing that we have to stay away from, and and be able to embrace risk more. Have a clear end in mind. Information is great. Mentorship programs are great. Mentors and coaches are great. But if you don't have a clear end in mind, you could align yourself to the wrong person. So when you have a clear end in mind, I'm very clear about who needs to mentor me and who needs to coach me. I have 2 coaches. I have a mentor, and they're all like my mentor right now is a marketing guy in Germany. He has retired, all right? So because that is what I want to do. Sometimes you find we just look at the next, real big guy, and we're like, please mentor me. And the person asks, why do you want me to mentor you? We are not clear. So if you have your vision, if you have your goals, then I want to start a brewery. Who should mentor me? Tabitha Karanja, definitely, all right? If I want to start a brewery, I'm not going to look for Manu Chandaria. Is Manu Chandaria great? Absolutely. Yes. I want to start a manufacturing company, I'll go to Manu Chandaria. And then that way I also manage my time. I don't run out for every event. I'll be very specific about which events I go for based on the information I need that will help me get my end in mind, based on the people who have gotten an end in mind similar to mine, so their philosophies will align with mine. And then be open to different kinds of philosophies, be open to different kinds of strategies. I always tell people, and I'm a believer, the Bible says Apollo planted, Paul watered, and God brought the increase. Not one mentor, not one coach, there's no silver bullet. Not one program will give you the result. Because entrepreneurs tend to think, if I go to this association, this is where it is happening. No. You need to be I tell people you need to have at least 3 associations. You need to be part of the chamber. You need to be part of a professional association based with your end in mind. If you're a woman, you need to be in a woman's space, because all the money for women and stuff, they're going to look at an organization and not at an individual. So again, there are many things, but those are some that I would leave you with. Mindset for me is key. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You are not a result of your conditions and your circumstances. You are a result of the choices and decisions you make based on the circumstances and conditions that are around you. Your life will go where your mind is.